So one thing I realized is that um, in this journey to try to be successful, you kind of have to become the person you want to be right now instead of waiting for it to just magically happen. So what I mean by that is that if you think about it this way, the person that you're trying to become, when do you become that person? Do you think time just passes by and you magically become successful? You magically become the best, the strongest, the richest, whatever? It doesn't just happen magically. And one thing I was thinking about is, when does it happen? Like, people associate time and stuff like that. Like, they're like, the more time passes, the more mature I'll get. The older I get, the smarter I get. But it's not necessarily time. I think it's more of a mindset change, in the sense where, you know, like, I'll give you an example where this past summer, bro, I was just chilling, just doing nothing every day. Didn't have a job, didn't have shit. Was just chill on my ass, bro. And every day was like the same. Like, I'll compare it to fucking Naruto and like a Genjutsu. When you're stuck inside an infinite loop, everything's just the same every single day. So in that sense, every day was just the same. And I'd wake up every single day. It's like, what the fuck, bro? Today and yesterday and before yesterday and tomorrow, they're all the same days. I was realizing that time is not even a real thing, but that's a whole different concept. But basically, it's just perspective. And the most important moment is now. So every moment just felt like the same because I wasn't doing shit with my time. It's kind of, I don't know if that makes sense, but basically it's like I was living in a loop because I wasn't doing shit with myself. Every day was just the same unproductive day. So then I had the success in the back of my mind. I'm like, okay, I want to be successful. But when does that change happen? When does it change? I see that I'm doing everything. I see that I'm just doing nothing every single day. Just chilling, doing nothing. And then I'm like thinking, okay, if I keep living like this for the next 4 years, 5 years, what's gonna happen? I'm actually gonna wake up magically, blink my eyes, be like, damn, okay, I'm successful today. But I realize that's not what happens. Like, that's not how it works. People think time is associated to success, or time is associated to something, but that's not how it works at all, actually. I'm not gonna wake up and just be like, okay, and on the fourth year today I'm gonna be successful. But what the fuck, bro? No, because every single day you're living is the same. So every day I was living for that a couple months was just the same. So I realized that the change has to come from within, if that makes sense. No exterior change comes unless you establish an interior change. So how do you expect your circumstance to change if you don't change yourself, what you're doing? So that's how I was like, okay, so now we know time is not going to change. I have to change who I want to become right now. So if I want to become a certain person, let's say I want to become a successful basketball player, I want to be a successful businessman, YouTuber, whatever the fuck it is, I realize that I have to picture that shit already accomplished. And I have to become that person now, because now all my actions are translating towards what I want to do. So let's say I want to become a basketball NBA player. Do you think that because you want to be something, it's just gonna fucking happen? Fuck no, bro. You think I'm just gonna sit down my ass every day and think, I'm gonna be an NBA player, I'm gonna be an NBA player, and then on 4 years pass, I'm gonna wake up one day and be like, okay, this is the day I make the NBA, I'm gonna grind? No, bro. I think it starts from now. Your mental, it's which I wouldn't say it's a belief, but it's more of your entire just state of mind, in a sense where right now you are your person, you are your current self, and you want to be something in the future. So your future self is, we'll just give a random example, but your future self is making an NBA, let's say. How do you become in the NBA if you are not let me rephrase that. So what is the difference between the version of you that is making the NBA in 5 years versus the version of yourself right now? And what I realize is, it's just a mindset. Because if you believe it, it'll just translate your actions towards it. So imagine I just picture myself being that NBA version of myself now. Everything that I'm doing will contribute to being in the NBA, if that makes sense. So now I'm thinking about being the NBA, thinking about being the NBA. So now I'm thinking about every opportunity that I can do to bring me closer to the NBA. So I'm going to workouts, doing trainings, doing studyings, doing everything. And that's bringing me one step closer because I already am in the NBA, if that makes sense, in my mind right now. So you have to become what you want to be right now. You don't just fucking wake up and be like, okay, I'm the best basketball player now. You have to be the best basketball player now. even when there's no tangible proof that you already are the best, if that makes sense. So some people might call this delusion, they might call this fucking false belief, some people might call this manifestation, whatever the fuck you want to call it, bro. But the point remains that you have to become the person you want to be right now. So it doesn't just happen overnight. You don't just wake up one day and become that successful version of yourself. You have to become it now. You have to see it, feel it, taste it, you know, see yourself accomplishing what you're doing. You already know you accomplished it. So now everything you're doing is just kind of like a ripple effect, because now every action you're doing in your mind has already been accomplished. So now everything action you're doing is just bringing you closer to that reality that's already been accomplished in your mind. I don't know if that fucking makes sense, but that's just, I feel like, something that clicked to me. You know, you have to kind of become that person, because like I said so many fucking times, bro, you don't just wake up and shit changes. Like, shit doesn't change unless you change. Your actions don't change, your reality doesn't change, your outcomes don't change unless you make change. So just because you want something, just because you feel like you're not entitled to shit, bro, just because you want to be the fucking best doesn't mean you're gonna be the best. So you have to think it, bro. And even if you don't have the tangible results, let's say you're shit at basketball right now, but you believe and you know for a fact that you're gonna make the league, let's say. Now because you believe that you are that person already, everything you're doing is just translating towards what you are trying to achieve. So now I'm walking, talking, moving. It's not just delusion where I think I'm the best but I'm not doing shit. Everything I'm doing is incongruent to what I want to be. So, you know, I'm participating in things that make me the best, you know, going to trainings, whatever the fuck it is. I keep saying the same shit, but that's basically just, you know, the principle that I think that applies. You know, you don't just fucking wake up one day you're successful, you have to become it. But I think that's like the distinction that people fail to make, because it's so complicated, because there's no fucking handbook on how to become successful. You know, many people don't know how do you become successful, but I think to become successful first is just thinking and knowing that you already are it. You have to become that person. So what I found that helped is write down the person you want to become. Let's say you want to be, I keep using the same example, but let's say you see yourself in the NBA, right? Again, we're using the same example. You write down everything that an NBA version of yourself would be doing. So you write down, okay, I'm this, that. I do this kind of workout. Every single day I participate in my daily workouts. I go to the gym, train, I eat a good healthy diet. What do I do? This, so you basically just pretending that you already are that person. So you're writing down your daily tasks of everything that you already are. So now everything you're doing is kind of already in alignment of that of an NBA player. So of course you study what an NBA player would be doing, and then you embody that. So in a sense, I feel like it's kind of inevitable, because you already are the NBA player in your fucking brain, and now it's just translating. The only thing that needs to match is the reality, like the physical reality. So because it's already a reality on the mental plane in your mind, it's just inevitable that it will happen. So I don't know, bro. That's just some shit I was thinking about. Like, how can something happen? How can something be achieved if you don't believe it first? If you don't believe you're gonna get a good grade, if you don't believe you can score a basketball shot, you can score a layup, how the fuck do you expect to make it? You have to envision it. You have to see yourself making a shot. And I'm not saying because you see something that's gonna perfectly happen. No, but I'm saying the odds are higher that it will be accomplished because it's already been accomplished in your mind. So now you see yourself shooting that shot. First of all, you know the form that you need to participate. Because you see the shot in your mind, right? You kind of know what form you have to use now. You kind of know what position you need to put yourself in. So you kind of already have the mental plan. It's like having a map or a structure, a blueprint. So when you build a house, right? The house is not physically built, but because you have the blueprint, you write down everything. Everything's already visualized. All you have to do is just act on it. I feel like that's the same thing with your brain. You gotta write down a blueprint of what you want to be. So you write down, boom, I want to be this kind of person. I want to be this successful. I want to be this businessman. You write down, okay, what would this businessman be doing every day? You write down your routine. Now you write down, okay, this businessman, what business do I want? Boom. You have to become already what you are. Sorry, you have to become, You have to become what you want to be, if that makes sense. So, you want to be a guy that drives a Porsche, has a big business, picture yourself driving the fucking Porsche. Become in the Porsche. Feel yourself driving the Porsche. Picture yourself walking out to your business, driving to your business. You have to already create it. The reality already has to be created in your mind. So, one thing I realized is your mind cannot make the distinction between reality and imagination. So some people might understand this and might say that's just delusion. Okay, call it whatever you want, but if it works, it works. You can't knock something until you try it. A lot of people like to knock shit down and all this shit like, oh, it doesn't work, but try it, bro. As long as you try something and then it doesn't work for you, fine. But I don't know, I believe you should try something. But yeah, that's just what I think. Become the person you want to become. Become the person you would like to be right now. Become your future self right now. Become the future version of yourself that you like to be in this present moment. There's no distinction, there's no difference between your future you and your present you. But the only difference is your mind. Because I'm sure, like, in the past, you're like, okay, I had this vision of myself at 25 or at 30. I'm going to be this, that. At 30, I'm going to have a family and kids. Okay, let's make it realistic. At 25, I'm going to have a family and kids. 25, I'm going to be rich. That's what I used to tell myself. At 25, I'm going to be rich as fuck. I'm going to have this, that. And then the closer I'm getting to 25, I'm realizing, bro, what the fuck? Nothing is changing. Like, 4 years have passed since I was young. And then I'm looking back in these 4 years, I'm like, what has changed? I'm literally the exact same person. Nothing has changed. Like, of course I have different things, but I'm just talking about in terms of time frame. It feels like if I hold my eyes closed for a certain amount of time, I could return to that 4 year period. So I realized there's no difference between the version of me 4 years ago and now, in the terms of just like feeling it and picturing yourself where you're gonna be. So I'm like, okay, if nothing changed, what's gonna change in another 5 years, in another 10 years? So I realized it's not just things that come to you, it's really your mind that changes, and then it brings different things to you in a sense, because time isn't shit. Time does not mean anything. It's really, I think, your actions that change things. So again, like, how do you can't expect change if you don't inflict change. So yeah, man, become the person you want to be right now. Become that version of yourself right now. Become that future version of yourself now. Walk, talk, breathe, whatever. Do everything you gotta do like that version of yourself that you picture yourself being in the future. So if you see yourself being a rich guy, you feature yourself being a successful basketball player, I don't know, businessman, YouTuber, where the fuck it be. Picture yourself being it right now. And then now, when time goes by, it's just inevitable that it happens. So whatever the mind can believe, it can achieve, man. That's just how it is.